And here we go. Welcome, Hard Knocks. KK the Destroyer here, coming at you live from the ESPN Ocho studio, bringing you all your Hard Knocks news. Introducing Greg, who is with me here to kind of give us the projections.
Hey guys.
And then Cy Koopa, the other partner in crime, our other co-commish, is here to join us as well.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we'll get started with this projection. So we came at you, like, I think, week 4? And we didn't really know how this was going to shake out. Tons of new guys. So didn't have any real expectations of what the season was going to look like. So we'll go ahead and jump into the AFC North and start looking at what these playoff pictures are looking at. So, Cy, if you don't mind, would you pull up maybe the Browns' schedule for their upcoming games? And then, Greg, you can pull up the Bengals. But this division is actually really tight. It's Browns 7-3, Bengals 7-4. So Browns, that'd be your division, Greg. So I guess
that's me. Yeah.
That you are technically leading the division. I'm assuming you've had your bye.
I have had my bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing work right now. You did take a loss to Jabbar Gaffney, though. So what was up with that?
He beat my ass. Plain and simple.
I believe the phrase you used was he took you to the woodshed.
Yeah, he did. He beat me pretty badly.
Yeah.
I've never been beaten by him either. I've always beaten him pretty handily because he usually sucks it up in the second half of games. But it was consistent the entire game. I didn't have a chance. After halftime, it was over.
And so then Bengals. Oh, go ahead, Cy.
So I want to say, like, looking at the remaining games the Browns have, it looks like they have a guaranteed loss week 15 against the Cardinals. I mean, I think that's gonna happen. But other than that,
whether I win or lose that game, I'm in the playoffs.
but other than that, it looks like it's. I mean, I don't want to say it, but it looks like it's smooth sailing, and I think he might take the division. But that's just from looking at the games remaining. He plays the Bengals twice, so I think those two games are gonna be key.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you going to split games with Blaze this year, or are you going to dominate him? Greg?
What now?
I said, do you think you're going to split games with the Bengals this year, or are you going to dominate them?
I hope to take them both because I'm only one game up on him.
But we've watched one of his games, that bizarre game between him and Mike as the Ravens, where he stole him.
I gave it to Mike pretty good. I beat him pretty good. So, I mean, hopefully I can do the same to Blaze. What did I do? What did I beat Mike by?
Let's see.
26-17. So Mike ended up beating him. I'm hoping to be able to take both those games, run away with the division. Blaze did just beat the Steelers, so the Steelers are now 6-5.
Yep.
So it's gonna be close.
Mike is looking definitely out of the running here, being 3 games back from 2 of you. So, Cy, you want to take your best guess at who's winning this division?
Let me look at the Bengals remaining. So
that's a good idea.
Looks like the Browns have a bunch of division games coming up. Like the Browns play the Steelers, the Bengals twice, and then the Ravens. So they got a bunch of that. Oh. Looking at the Bengals, they just, like Craig said, they just beat the Steelers, and they have the Jets next, and then Craig, and then it's gonna be Jabbar versus Blaze week 15. That'd be a fun matchup to watch.
Yeah.
And then I think it's gonna come down to week 17 between like Craig and Blaze. I honestly think it might come to that.
Yeah.
You think week 17 might be a play-in game? Winner takes the playoffs?
Yeah, or like winner takes like the division.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Yeah, at this point, not because Greg is a co-commish and all this different stuff, and we have a closer relationship than I have with Blaze, but I just feel like Greg's going to win this division, and I think the Bengals probably wind up with a wild card out of it, but we can get to the wild cards in a minute. Mike's definitely going to tank at this point. He loves the draft, so now that he's 4-6, I can't see him trying to win any games. And the Steelers are doing pretty well at 6-5, but I mean, anything can happen at this point.
It's true.
I mean, we don't know much about.
I think Mike's gonna be a little disappointed with how the draft works this Madden.
Yeah, that could be.
Just with how hard it is, to dev people.
Well, yeah. Well, at least right now there's no draft sheet video that he can go watch and just rack them up.
That's true. Exactly. So.
And then
we'll see how his first draft goes.
We had to pass the Mike rule, which was you can't have more than 4 first-round picks after what he had 7 or 8. It was absurd.
I think he had half the first round or something.
It was so gross, but we spent long enough in this trash-ass division, so let's move on to the AFC South. We got the Texans, which is that's Mikey, the new guy, 9-2, definitely in a commanding lead. And then you got Ricky at 7-3, who he's dropped a couple games. Somebody want to look that up and see who he's recently lost to.
Ricky's the Jags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me look it up.
Calls him Ricky.
I know. Yeah, it's Rocky just for the new guys. Everybody, his name is Rocky, and at some point over the several years, somebody called him. I think he typed Ricky or somebody typed Ricky, and then after that, it's just been Ricky ever since. So that's the context. So go ahead, Sai. What do you got for me?
So it looks like his last loss was against the Texans. He lost 17-10. So I guess it was a relatively close game.
Close game, yeah.
But his biggest loss was against Plays. Plays took him to the woodshed, 43-10.
Oof. Dang.
And then the Titans beat him. So other than that, it looks like he's been putting up. Yeah.
And I believe the Titans is it's Danny.
It's Racco. Yeah.
Oh no, Racco. No. My bad. That's my bad.
Yeah,
Danny was the Titans last year or the year before. So Racco beat him.
Yeah. Racco beat him.
And Racco's in the
beat him and Mikey beat him.
Racco's in the sewer right now at 2-8. So
his next game's against Racco, and then he's got Jewel, and then he's got you. So Rocky's got a pretty tough schedule to finish this up.
So
he's got a.
What about the Texans?
The Texans have been just like a powerhouse in this conference. It seems like their losses have been.
I think to Greg, did you beat the Texans or no?
No, I haven't played him.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to playing him in the playoffs, hopefully.
I think Rocky beat him week 2, 31-23.
Oh, and then the Seahawks. Was it the Seahawks that beat him?
Yeah. No. And then the Falcons beat him by 1 point, 21-20.
I watched that game, and that was
that
crazy.
Game was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then
other than that, he's been handling his business. And
so does he look like he's going to skate to the division winner here?
So.
I mean, besides you.
He's got some tough matchups. He's got Jabbar and he's got JP coming up, so we'll see how those two games go.
Who he does, he's back-to-back, Jabbar and Johnny.
Yeah, Jabbar and Johnny. Other than that, he finishes with Titans, Bucks, and Titans, so we'll see how that goes.
Might shake his confidence a little if he drops 2 right there, but yeah, so that'll be kind of interesting to see how that shakes out. And the Colts is... Who?
UWG, I think, or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. He's been in the league a while. He's 4-7, so definitely not having a good go of it. So,
I mean, that sounds about the usual for him.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was one season we were division mates, and that sounds about right.
So, Greg, what's your prediction here?
I don't know the Texans, but I'm going to take him. He seems like he's pretty good at the game. I think I've seen a few streams of his. He's pretty solid. I think he'll beat Jabbar. I don't know if he'll beat Johnny or not.
Yeah.
Johnny's really good.
Oops, not bad.
So yep, I'm taking Texans.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So I think that's kind of a consensus that he takes it. Only because Rocky is kind of up and down at times. He's having a good season, so you never know. He might just string it together.
He's having a good season, and they both split their head-to-head. But I think I don't know. I wouldn't surprise if they both end with the same records. just
What
from
is
the games they have
what are the
left.
who notable does the Jaguars play?
Okay, let me see. So the Jags, just he's got
Jewel.
you week 14. Other than that,
I heard Greg say Jewel, and she's doing pretty
yeah, he's
well.
got
and
Jewel
you,
week.
that's it.
Yeah, he's got Jewel right before you, and then he's got you week 14,
Hmm.
and then Raiders, Falcons, and Colts. So
Raiders, Falcons, Colts. Okay. Well, the
so they
Falcons
both
did
have.
beat the Texans.
Yeah,
You never know.
that's true. Yeah, Falcons did beat the Texans.
So this will be interesting. But it does look like the Texans should probably run away with this division.
Yeah, like I think one of these teams, whether it's the Jags or the Steelers,
Yeah,
from
that's what I
the
was gonna say.
AFC North, one of those are going to get left behind with the winning record, I feel.
That's gonna
The
suck.
AFC wild card is going to be nuts. Yeah, I mean, either KK,
Yeah.
not KK, Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
Blaze, or Rocky. One of those four are going to get left out.
Yikes.
I think I'll take my division. If I don't, I'm in that. I mean, I'm in that
Yeah.
list too because it's going to be crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just jumped over here to the AFC East, and you got Jabbar sitting at 8-3, and then you have TBK who quietly is putting something together at 6-4, and then you got Sib at 6-5. And then the Dolphins, which is Dardar, who's tanking. He showed the Dolphins emblem in a tank, so we know where he's at.
Yeah, he knows his team has a lot of holes, so I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Makes sense to follow the real life Dolphins and just
Right.
take their game plan and roll with it.
So basically, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Jabbar wins this division and does it easily with this 2-game lead. TBK seems to be having some troubles, and then Sib, he's been fairly busy, so I think he's taken some losses there. So it looks pretty cut and dry to me, especially the way Jabbar's playing. I mean, he was playing lights out there for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Having Brady
Yeah.
helps big time.
And then the thing for him is Brady's going to come back next year too, with the way they patched the game, so
Yeah, I know he
might
gets
win
one
it
full
again next
season.
year
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah, Jabbar has a. I don't know. Jabbar has some tough matchups though. He's got Texans, and then he's got Rebel. I mean, Rebel played really well.
He played
in your
really good
game.
against me. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at no point did I think I was running away with that game. So,
Yeah.
um,
So he's got the Texans, Chiefs, Bengals, and then TBK. So who knows? Those 4 games could, I mean, either win the division for him or murky things up.
yeah. So we can move along this one because this one's not that close, and we'll go to the AFC West, which that'd be my division. So Johnny's 8-2, having a great season. I'm 8-3, but I think it's inflated. I've had at least 2 sim wins, and I'm not playing really well. I don't really like where my game's at all, but I'm managing to be 8-3. And then Rebels at 4-7. And he took the team over after I think they took 2 losses, and then I think he got a win or 2, and then took a couple more losses. So I know he's going to try to keep playing because he's like, I'm out of the running for any playoff here, but I got to figure out the game because he's been away for like 4 years. So he's gonna play to win, which I love, especially when you're out of the division. I mean, there's nothing better than a guy with a terrible record coming to bring the heat for somebody in like week 15 that's in a playoff hunt. I mean, that's the best thing.
Which is really funny you say that because he plays Johnny week 15.
Yeah, I'm hoping he can beat Johnny at least one time.
Yeah, because and then you guys have a big matchup week 13, you and Johnny, so that should be a game to watch.
Yeah, it's right after this bye week for me, so I'm looking forward to it. Hope to get a little redemption there, but I don't know. Honestly, I feel like Johnny's gonna win both games this year against me. I think he just kind of knows what he wants to do, and I feel like I'm kind of flailing about at times. And then you got SNS GOW, which is the Raiders, 2-9. He took 2 wins early, has not gotten it together. But he's fairly new to the game. I mean, he's played Madden before, but hasn't played in like, I don't know, 10 years or something, or 8 years. So,
Hey, he beat TPK, so there's
yeah,
that.
that's true. And he was
Yeah.
one of his early wins, so yeah. But we all know
Yeah.
TBK's trash anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
When it comes to Madden 20, definitely.
yeah. So, I guess I'll go to you, Cy. Who do you think is going to take this division?
I think I don't want to go against you, but I think Johnny does.
That's
but
it. You're booted. You're booted off the
varies.
podcast. Get
I'm
lost.
sorry about that. but I think that Week 13 matchups, like if you can split the game with him, I can see it coming down to the wire, and you might edge him out. But
I hope.
just from looking at his losses,
Yeah.
Oh, who'd he lose to?
he lost to you, Craig, and he lost to Rocky, and that's it. Those are his only 2 losses right now.
Those are pretty good losses. And the difference, though, is looking at the stats is his points against is half of what mine
Oh, yeah.
is. So I'm
Yeah,
giving up so many points.
His defense has been like locked down just from looking at the games he's won.
Yeah,
And
they're fairly low scoring, but that's the way Johnny plays. Is a lot of times against really good players, he gets ultra conservative, doesn't make mistakes, and just plays good defense.
like you said, like I think the wild card would be if you split the games and if Rebel manages to beat him Week 15.
Right.
That might murky things up, but yeah, it looks like he's got a good handle of this game.
Yeah. So, Greg, what do you think?
I think the winner of your game will win it.
Interesting.
I think. I don't have any
A
other
man-
kind of. I'd have to see you guys play.
I like it. A man who knows how to stay on the podcast. Perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm just giving my hot takes. That's
Yeah, there
that's
you
all
go.
I'm doing here.
Well, you guys will if say he wins his next game, and then
Which
you
is
guys
against
play,
me.
You're one game behind him. So you win that game. You've got the same record. It's a tiebreaker, right?
Right.
So if you both win out after that, I mean, I don't know how it's determined in Madden anymore, but
Yeah, it's always
See,
kind
like I
of a,
will say,
division.
like you do have similar people left to play.
yeah.
Like if you beat Rocky, who he lost to, I think that would factor into the tiebreaker.
You
I
would
think it's division record first, and then it might be common opponents after that. I'm not really sure.
I think that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean that's why I said the winner of that game, I think, wins it.
And so now that we kind of have those projections for the AFC, to what you said earlier, Greg, which is that the wild card games are going to be
rough.
really interesting. Like, who's going to make it? I mean, you would assume either myself or the Broncos, the Jaguars, and then yourself or the Bengals.
Yeah. So like there's like solid two teams from each division that could potentially win their division or lose it, and one's gonna get left out.
And that's not even accounting for like the Steelers that have 6 wins.
Yeah.
And the Bills or the Jets who have 6. Like,
Yep.
nothing's saying that I'm going to win any more games. I could finish the year, 8-7 or 8-8. My bad. And these guys could rack off some wins. So I mean, anything can happen right now.
That's true, yeah. But there's just so many teams. Like there's let me see if I can get a count.
Greg, if you had to pick it, so Bengals, Browns, Jaguars, not Patriots, Broncos, Chargers. Out of those teams, which 2 are wild cards?
I think, oh man, you know what? I think Rocky, the Jaguars, and I think the Chargers. Either Chargers or Broncos, whichever. One of you two are going to be the wild cards. So
I think that's a pretty decent prediction. That makes sense.
Blaze plays me twice, and if I beat him both times, he's not going to make the playoffs at 10-6. That's if he wins out the rest of his games. He'll have 6 losses if I beat him twice. So he's going to have to beat me. If he beats me, it's a whole other story. Then I'm fighting for my playoff life because I have to play him twice. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable prediction there. So we'll jump over to the NFC North. We got the Vikings at 6-5, which is Coach, who just came off a brutal loss to to Johnny. Yeah, I mean this division's kind of wide open. I mean then you got the Lions, who's another new guy. What's his name? I think he's a friend of Mikey's.
Pat or something? I can't remember. It's a 3-letter word. Remember, right?
Something like that. I can't remember off the top of the head. But yeah, I think this division's mostly what, new people? The whole division.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe at 3-8 with the Packers and Saquon Barkley.
Benson, the Bears.
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, okay.
So it's 50-50. So our guys are not holding it down in this division. They're letting the new guys run amok. Not cool.
Damn,
So-
Jordan Benson talks so much shit. Gets the Bears,
That's his name. That's the Lions' name.
and
Parks.
then gets the Bears, and then I don't know what happened.
So Parks is the name of the Lions?
Yeah.
Okay. So Parks is a new guy. Like I said, I think it's Mikey's buddy. So yeah, Sai, I guess I'll go ahead and let you predict this one. What do you think is going to happen here?
I think the Vikings are gonna win it. I think the Bears and Packers are pretty much done for. They're probably just looking towards the draft or next season, which is surprising because they're rostered. I mean, especially the Bears. You would think that team would get more than 3 wins, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I
I don't
think
think any of these teams deserve the playoffs.
that's
You know what?
true.
We should just like eliminate one of those and give the winning record AFC wildcard that gets eliminated their spot.
Yeah.
See, like
None of these teams
I
have a
think
positive.
this division's like that Seahawks team that made the playoff with the
Yes.
7-9 record or something.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't be surprised if
Remember that.
someone went 7-9 and made it from here.
None of these teams have outscored their opponents. None of them.
Hmm.
Jeez.
They all are losing
Yeah,
that battle.
Yeah. I was just looking at the Bears, and he's only scored 146 points. I mean, what is that, like 12 points a game? That's what he's averaging?
14. He's played 10 games. 146, 14.6.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I was thinking it's week 12. I figured he at least played that, but 10 games, yeah. 14 points a game.
Not
So,
much.
Greg, so Cy says Vikings are going to win. Greg's like, I'm not even going to choose because none of these teams deserve it. So,
Who are you taking?
Yeah.
myself, after what I saw from Coach, even though in the comments he said put some respect on the Vikes, I don't know that I can. I think he's had a few too many chicken sandwiches at bars. Dude needs to
See, like from looking at the Vikings like division record, like within their division, it looks like he's beat the Packers, he beat the Bears, and then he beat the Lions, and he's got the Lions, Packers, and Bears to like finish up.
So he should skate
with
into
Ducks.
this division
Yeah.
win.
So if he can just win his division, I think he can win it.
Yeah. I think that's a fair commentary on this sad sack of a division, so we'll move on.
Yeah. It's
So-
whoever like just wins their heads to
Head
heads.
sack of a division.
Coach is in the stats or in the comments over here on YouTube, so I'm really laying it down for him. NFC South, we got the Bucks, which is Jewel at 7-3, and then the Falcons, who are 5-5, which were the Giant Killers. I think they beat them when they were 1-5. He's -1 on a streak, so maybe not, but he's even right now. And then you got Nick, who is MIA, and then the Panthers, which is a new guy, I think. Is that right?
Thode for life.
Thode
I don't know
for
who he
life,
really is,
yeah.
but that's the username, yeah.
Right. So he's 1-9. He just seems to be giving up a lot of points at 249. So, Greg, where you want to go with this one?
I think Jules gonna win it. I mean,
Yeah,
with
Jules.
Nick's being MIA and all. I don't know how good this Falcons guy is. His record has improved though, because last I saw, I think he was like 2-4 or something.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought he would. I thought he was in the dumps when he beat the Texans.
So I mean, he's making a comeback. I think Jules a little bit too much right now.
Yeah, like I think Jules
And
gonna take it, but she does play the Falcons twice. The next week, week 12 and week 17. So
That could be interesting. I mean, if he takes
other than
both
that,
of them,
yeah, like other than that, I think she plays Rocky week 13 and then plays the Texans week 16.
well, and it's right there playing the Texans. I mean, if the Falcons do win both head-to-head, then he would own the tiebreaker by beating the Texans. I mean, it's not like she's 100%, but yeah, I want to give my my vote of confidence to Jewel here. I think she's played well, and then is leading the division for a reason. So I expect her to win this division, and pretty easily. We'll see how that goes, though, because like you said, I mean, we haven't seen enough of the Falcons yet, other than the one game I saw, and that was a really close game. I mean, at no point, and as you can tell by his points for and points against, he's giving up nearly as many points as he's scoring. So every game he's in, it's just he's barely squeaking them out. So
this next division is where it's at.
Yeah, oh my gosh, in kind of a 50-50 kind of way. NFC East, the Cowboys 10-1, and that is number one Cowboys hater too. That's got to sting a little bit.
He's a new guy.
Yeah, he's a new guy.
So is Eagles.
And then the Eagles is B-Bomber at 8-2, having a great season. And then the Redskins, remind me again. I feel like that's one of ours.
Danny.
Oh, Danny letting me down at 2-8, letting these new guys walk all over him. It's ridiculous.
To be fair, I don't think the Cowboys has had a tough matchup. I mean, he just beat Jabbar 17-14, but it looks like he's got a pretty easy schedule. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. So, I mean, other than Jabbar, like, yeah, it looks like he lost to Sib 24-21.
So just so we're clear, number one Cowboys hater, Sai is saying your record's inflated and you don't deserve what you...
Just like a paper division champion right now. I don't think he's played any of the heavy hitters. I mean, no disrespect to Jabbar.
Well, he played Nick and beat him, but Nick is just kind of...
Yeah.
I mean, Nick's MIA.
Right.
He beat the Eagles once already.
That's a quality win.
Well, yeah, and I don't know about the Eagles too, so that's
which is fair. Yeah, like, we don't know. New. But the fact is, I mean, they're still winning pretty consistently in a game that's brand new that nobody's really got a hang of yet. So that's got to kind of mean something. And looking at their points for and against, I mean, they're definitely scoring more points than they're giving up. So their defense must be reasonable.
I mean, I'm gonna be skeptical because
he doesn't play a single heavy hitter.
Was it like 2 Maddens ago where I had like a pretty good winning season? But I think it's just one of those things where it's like we'll have to wait and see season 2 to like get like the actual picture of who the heavy hitters are.
Or just wait till the playoffs. I mean, he'll have to run into penalty. See how he does against penalty.
That's true.
But he doesn't play anybody. He doesn't play any kind of big heavy hitter the remainder of his games. TBK is the only one, and then it's Bears, Rams, Eagles again, which he already beat, and then Redskins, Danny.
TBK's not a heavy hitter.
So, I mean, he's the closest too.
That guy. Oh, I was about to say he could win the 1 seed, but I don't think that's going to happen. He'll take the 2 seed more than likely, based on his record. So I mean,
got the 1 seed. I mean, unless Nick comes to play. If Nick comes back and is in a good mind, because penalty has to play Nick week 14. If Nick comes to play, he can beat penalty. I'm not saying he will, but it's possible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's got the skills to do it. He's just always a slow starter, and with him missing the last few games, I just don't know if he'll be able to manage to be on that level that quickly. So, Greg, you want to make a prediction here? I think where the consensus is, we're gonna say Cowboys is the winner, right here.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys because looking at the Eagles schedule, like they haven't played much heavy hitters too, but they have a big game coming up against the Seahawks. And other than that, they have a pretty cupcake schedule too. They have a pretty winnable schedule too. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to read here. And Eagles got
Yeah.
nothing to
Both
worry
have
about.
similar points, 4 points against
Yeah,
spreads too. It's
for
really,
sure.
It's really, they're really neck
Yeah,
and
they're
neck,
like
you know.
two identical teams, like, and just record-wise and competition-wise, just
Man.
looking at the games that they've had.
The NFC is, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say it's the weaker division at this point because it's hard to tell. But based on the records that we're seeing, I mean, I'm in the NFC West now, and you've got the Niners at 11-0, and then the Seahawks at 6-4, Cardinals at 5-6.
He'll make the playoffs.
The Seahawks.
I'm convinced of it. Yeah, I'm convinced
Yeah.
he'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the Seahawks and Niners make it from here.
Yeah, just based on the feedback that Greg gave about his gameplay, I mean, I think, his record is not who he is at this point because he came in late on that team after had taken a couple losses. So, and what's his username?
I can't remember.
I'm trying to pull it up on Discord here.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to look at it on this.
It is King Harris.
King Harris.
28.
Oh, King Harris. Okay. Yeah, so King Harris, the jury's out on you right now, so we'll see how you manage to pull this together. But he did just lose a game, so that's
A
not
penalty.
Oh, to penalty. Okay.
By 3 points.
By 3 points. All right. Well, there we go. So we can pretty much count him into the playoffs then at this point.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then we got.
I still remember complaining about it. I wanted the force win against the Rams, because the guy left. You booted the guy, and then all of a sudden you get this King Harris guy in, and I'm messaging you like, man, I wanted the force win. You couldn't have waited a day. And then I played the game, and I got my ass whipped, and it was just like, no.
So now we got the Cards at 5-6. I mean, what do you got to say for yourself, Si?
Honestly, that's more wins than I thought that I would get with this team, so I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, we'll give you the
especially
rebuild.
being in the division, especially being
You're
in the
worst
division with
division in
10.
the game.
Yeah, it's a terrible division, but it's a good learning experience, and at least my points for are a little bit higher than points against.
That's
so,
kind of a win, right?
So there's that. Yeah, that's a win in my books.
Sure. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough division this year.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely challenge you. So we'll see what can shake out from that. Then the Rams would be the last one, and that's TX Ragnar. Yeah. And he's 3-7. He's dropped 6 in a row, so he's definitely having a rough go. Giving up a ton of points, and just can't put anything together. But in this division, it's not going to help him. Out of morbid curiosity, what is his remaining schedule?
Let me take a look. Who, the Rams?
Yeah, because if he has to play the Niners and the Seahawks and you,
Ooh, yeah.
it
I
could
feel
get
bad
really,
for him,
it could
Nothing
get really
like
ugly.
having a new user.
Yeah.
Nothing like having a new user in a ridiculously hard division and just make them want to quit.
Right.
So he's got Mike next, and then he's got me, and then the Seahawks, and then Cowboys, and then penalty, and then he finishes the season off against me.
Oh,
so yeah, that's a
geez.
pretty rough.
Okay.
Chances all of his wins have come already.
Ragnar, please don't quit. Just keep playing. It'll get better,
Yeah, stick
I
it
promise.
in, man. Don't worry about it. You and me will. We got the draft to look forward to.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
If it makes you feel any better, Ragnar, you're in a really tough division, so it's not just you.
That's nuts.
So now that we basically have our division winners picked out here, let's see. Eagles are 8-2.
They're a lock for a wild card spot.
So they're a lock, and then we have the Lions at 5-5, the Falcons at 5-5, and the Seahawks at 6-4. Which,
Well,
I mean,
and the Seahawks are a lock too.
well, that's
For
the
me.
assumption.
Not just
yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Base-
think it's going to be Eagles and Seahawks are the two wild card teams. That's
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't think.
gonna follow
It's a
Greg's
foregone
feedback.
conclusion.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the easy mark. But doesn't the NFC just look so unbalanced? I mean, like, not even unbalanced. I guess that's the wrong word. Like, I guess it's top
Top-heavy?
heavy. Yeah, it's top heavy. And then you have a lot of teams right in the middle.
Garbo.
Yeah, I mean the AFC is 8-8, 8-8, 9-7, or well, 9 wins, 7 wins, and then 7-7 in yours. And I guess we're giving your division, Greg, a little bit more benefit of the doubt because we know the users in it, and because it's 7-7, it doesn't really look that good in your division. But that's just for the competition that's there. So I guess it's still kind of hard to be seen. But
Mike's better than his record says. The Steelers guy is pretty good. I mean, he played me tough. You watched that game. I mean, it was a tough game
for sure.
Until I finally was able to blow it open at the end of the game.
So we basically have our projections kind of figured out there. So I would just say the guys on the bottom end of the scale, let's tip the scales somewhere and make this a little bit more interesting than what we foresee, specifically in the NFC. Let's change that dynamic a little bit, and I mean, really everywhere. So from here, I think we were going to go ahead and jump into, let's see, just kind of stat leader stuff, kind of check out what people are doing.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff's going to be skewed, like defensive stats especially. Like you'll see people with interceptions on teams like the league leader in the NFL tab for interceptions has 7, but I know that
it's
penalty has some guy that's like 15 or 16.
He's actually only got 10. It's not that bad, but yeah, for some reason it doesn't show him having the most, which doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what's going on here, but passing leaders is Blaze. It's because I think he's getting shootouts all the time with 3,000 with Andy Dalton.
That's going to be a heck of a matchup for me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you got good passing.
Pass defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, good pass defense, so you'll probably just reap the benefits of interceptions there.
Hopefully. Or he's going to torch me. My defense is a fake ID. I don't know.
And then we got Mikey's Deshaun Watson with 2,600 yards, 23 TDs, 16 interceptions. Good ratio there. Blaze is kind of 50-50. And then Jabbar sitting at 2,500 yards, 25 TDs, 20 interceptions.
Look at Blaze's completion percentage, though.
75, yeah.
Shoulders above everybody. Yeah,
that
mean,
is
this dude
a ton.
must be dumping crap off. I don't know, or something. I don't know. That's a heck of a completion percentage.
No doubt.
I don't know. Blaze is 75, and then Penn's is 72.
Is it really? I was just looking.
Yeah.
No. Wait.
And then Russell Wilson's is
you're right.
71%
There it is.
completion. Yeah.
And hey, look at that. The Raiders have a 75% completion rate, but they've thrown 12 times.
Yep.
Oh, that's because that's Mike Glennon. That's why.
Yeah, that's Mike Glennon. That's that guy.
Russell Wilson.
The starters.
Yeah, some pretty good completion percentages. I'm way down in the dumps at 67.
Oh, dude, I'm at 57. I can't pass with
64.
64.
But I do have a I have a 2-to-1 interception rate or touchdown interception ratio.
That's good. And actually, I am surprised at the ratios that I'm seeing. Is most of them are positive, like in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got. Hey, I'm right there with you, Greg. I got a 2-to-1 in INT ratio, 20-10. What up?
That's not bad.
There we go. And you've got 1,000 more passing yards than me.
Well, see.
Or 500, not 1,000. Sorry.
Then we go to the rushing leader, which is Zeke at 1,372 yards, getting that 7 yards a carry. Jeez. 9 TDs.
Look at
hey,
Mike
David Johnson's
Jackson
got 7 yards to carry too. Just saying.
Oh my God, Mike is cheesing with Lamar Jackson. 822 rushing yards with a quarterback. Yeah, but I mean, in the games that I watched him, he I didn't see him doing like anything crazy with him. I mean, he takes off through the line of scrimmage a lot. I mean, he'll take the open, roll out somewhere without a doubt. But I mean, he was sitting in the pocket for the most part. He took a few sacks.
No, Mike's doing it like the legit way. Like he calls QB runs and
we gotta give him some respect there.
Design scrambles, yeah.
He's not just cheesing with it. Mm-hmm. And then Matt Breida, who gained the benefit of, I think, penalties, rushing TDs, sitting up with 12.
Later.
Yeah. But
I think Penn probably had 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was at one time. But a lot of 800 to 900 yards rushing, and then some 700s. Saquon Barkley at 703, which is kind of brutal because he's supposed to be amazing. Gurley at 706.
Hey Giants, hit me up. Let's talk a trade. Let's get Saquon.
He's a Packer.
Yeah, he's a Packer.
Oh,
Joe's got him.
Traded him to Joe.
All right, Joe, stop wasting him. Just send him over.
Right. And Philip Lindsay at 903 yards. That's for Johnny. He's running pretty well with him. I mean, Le'Veon Bell doing work and Jordan Howard. So, pretty even stuff there as far as rushing goes. I feel like it's a little lower than I expected. But what are we? Week 12 will be week 13. So we'll have...
Yeah.
Is it 4 more or 5 more weeks? Because 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It'll be 5 total more weeks. I bet you we'll see a 2,000-yard rusher in Ezekiel Elliott.
Probably Zeke. Yeah.
Yeah, but not anybody else. I bet you 16, 17 probably where they wind up. Maybe less.
Yeah. Hey, Lamar Jackson might be in the top 5 by the end of the season.
And considering how easy running is this year, I feel like the rushing totals aren't that outrageous.
It's more balanced in franchise than it is in MUT.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine. Like, who's your running back, Greg?
I'm way low. Kareem
Yeah,
Hunt.
Nick.
Kareem
Oh, you're
Hunt.
not using
there he
Nick
is.
Chubb?
No, I'm using Hunt. It's like 500 yards.
Yeah, that's an outlier season for you for sure.
Yeah.
Like you.
All right, send Chubb over here, then.
I've been willing to trade Chubb, and nobody has given me anything good enough.
We can work out a package. Don't worry about it, Greg.
Don't worry about it, Greg.
Chubb's got to have about 100 yards, I bet.
Yeah.
So we got AJ Green leading
I need him.
the wide receiver list at 1,581 yards. So, Greg, basically, if you played Blaze, just double team AJ Green. I played him in another franchise, and yeah, he's a pain in the ass. I don't really know how to describe it other than that.
Throws a lot of deep balls to him.
Yeah,
30
16
yards
doing
average. Are you
Mike
freaking kidding me?
Evans.
Yeah, basically
Denzel
30
Ward
yards.
is going to be draped all over AJ Green. I don't care if AJ's got 5 inches on him.
And then Jules sitting atop the second spot, 1,344 with 14 TDs, just feeding him the ball. Averaging 134 yards a game.
You got DeAndre Hopkins with 18 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, no wonder he's got that 99 overall wide receiver. Why don't you... Like, the game plan should be just give him the ball.
Yeah, and he was a beast when I played against him. Like, I was in cover 4, and he
Yeah.
got behind the deepest safety there. And I was in backed off cover, like, regular base cover 4 where the corners are playing off. It wasn't like it was a cover 4 press or something. He just torches me, which was outrageous. And catches everything in double coverage or one-on-one, doesn't matter. He was just open. So he's doing really well. And then the drop-off is severe at that point. You're talking 500 yards, 450-plus yards to Juju Schuster, and then T.Y. Hilton, Thielen, and Julio. Julio's way down on the list. Tyreek Hill, which, once again, we had, 2 different users come in for that team. One, and then now Rebel. So he's probably a little off. And my lowly Keenan Allen. I spread the ball around a lot, though. That's going to be my excuse. 6 TDs. And then we'll skip the blocking because nobody cares. And do we care about tackles? I mean...
Not really. It's not more of a CPU stat a lot
Yeah,
of times.
it really is. I mean, you got to be pretty good to be tackling leader as a user.
Yeah.
Tackles for losses might be interesting.
Joey Bosa might break the
Oh.
sack record. I think he did break the sack record.
Yeah, I mean that's
Might.
crazy
Yeah.
because he
22
in games
sacks.
where he is getting sacks, he'll have 3 and 4 sacks. It's outrageous. But sometimes, man, I sit there and go, man, I don't feel like he's doing anything, and then I look at that and I'm like, okay, now I feel embarrassed because he's obviously doing stuff. I mean, that's just nuts.
Defensive ends are playing like they're beefed up big time.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see them with those
Von Miller,
pass rush
Dunlap,
moves.
Clown. I mean, Clowney as a right outside linebacker is having a year.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's doing okay for me. I've got 12.5 sacks. I mean, 9 tackles for loss with him.
Yeah. And so the thing about the sacks, though, too, is it really, in my view, depends on your opponent. If your opponent is good, they're getting rid of the ball fast. They're really mitigating the scenarios where you have to throw deep down the field, and that's where those guys get their sacks. Unless you just get one of those ridiculous sheds, like I'm getting mine on coverage sacks, is what it is. I rarely do I ever see the 5-step drop sack that I feel like I get hit with, but yeah, doing work at 22. And then, like we said, the interception leader is wrong because the 49ers should be. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 10. So that's all penalties user there, so he's doing work, which isn't a surprise. He's one of the best users in the game. And then, I mean, we can go look at your user. Are you finding yourself bouncing around a bit, Greg?
Man, this is the worst year I've had for interceptions in a long time. My top player only has 3.
Yeah.
It's really spread out though. It's 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Holy
Just a bunch
interceptions.
Just
Cy, you have a butt pile of interceptions.
Yeah.
Alfred with 7.
Alfred's
Buda
got
Baker
7.
with 5.
And
Peterson
then,
with 4.
Peterson has
Swearinger
4.
with 3. I mean, and then 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Like,
yeah, he's
that's a load. Are you using Buda Baker?
I try to use her Baker sometimes, and then I use her Hassan Reddick.
Gotcha, yeah. And I think that's probably the big difference is, Greg, I don't know about you, but I know for myself, and it sounds like for Cy as well, is I'm bouncing around a lot more than I used to. I don't just sit there on the middle linebacker anymore because they've been nerfed. And so I find myself playing, by necessity, safety or slot corner a lot because of the way the deficiencies in zone coverage, too.
Yeah.
So.
I'm the same way. I play a lot. I almost maybe play more on my safeties nowadays. What frustrates me right now, though, is that he might not be the best cornerback in the game, but he's one of them, and he doesn't have a single pick all year. I don't know if people are throwing away from him or what's going on, but
Who's that,
Denzel
Greedy?
Ward.
Oh, Denzel Ward.
He's only got 24 tackles, 2 tackles for losses. He has no interceptions, no sacks. He doesn't even have a pass deflection. It's just,
which is funny because that's what I was going to say is maybe he's just getting deflections, but I don't know if deflections are tracked very well either. So, but looking at defensive TDs, I thought I'd go take a look at that. You're leading with Buda Baker, four pick sixes, I assume, or fumble recoveries.
Oh, yeah.
So he's doing well, and 2 seems to be
he gets
kind of the average.
Yeah, he's got 5 picks and 4 of them were pick sixes, and he's got 188 yards from just picking the ball off.
Wow. So I thought I'd run over to the
You've
Texans.
got more defensive touchdowns than a lot of teams do.
I mean, I've got more defensive
teams I'm scrolling through right now
touchdowns
have
than
none.
me currently.
So the Texans, which is Mike, he's got 4 interceptions with Justin Reed, Jonathan Joseph, 2 corners with, 3 of his corners have 8 of them. So he's got that going for him. I'm just kind of curious how that was shaken out. But then beyond that, I guess we can jump back. And one thing that Cy thought he'd bring to the table was biggest disappointment for teams.
Yep.
So teams that started out stacked and have a losing record. So this will wrap the show up.
So just looking at the records,
Yeah.
honorary mentions, definitely the Chicago Bears. I don't know what happened there. That's a stacked team. That's a good team.
Yeah, they definitely have some nice pieces.
And then
And the Packers are right there with them.
yeah,
Even though I feel like
and
the
the
Packers
Colts at 4 and 7.
Yeah, I don't know that the Packers are really that stacked as a roster and team. I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers, of course, but
That's true. Yeah, they're not that stacked as a team, but not as stacked as the Bears. But I'm just surprised the Bears are
yeah.
3 and 7. Like I wasn't expecting that. Same thing with
So-
the Colts. I thought the Colts have a really good team. It's surprising to
And-
see them 4-7.
And Mike at 4-6.
Yeah, Mike at
That's a
4-6.
user thing, yeah.
Like I thought the Bengals would have a worse record than the Ravens, but man, how do you let the Bengals win 7 games and have a 4-6 record? Like, just surprising.
Yeah.
Because the Ravens defense is good, but I don't know.
Johnny wants us to look at the yearly awards.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So if you're handing out the biggest disappointment award, Si, who gets it? The Bears or the
biggest.
Ravens?
Well, I would, from user skill, I'd probably say Ravens. I expected Mike to be in the wild card hunt. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, because he's got
Yeah.
speed all over the place with that. What is it, Marquise
yeah,
Brown?
Marquise Brown. He's got Hollywood Brown.
Yep,
got
and he's got
Lamar
Lamar
Jackson.
Jackson, and a good defense, and he's slumming it in 4-6. He needs to go
just-
drink some milk.
He needs to go just pray for more games like he had against Blaze. You know, where he threw 4 picks and still wins it. That's
Right.
ooh.
Oh yeah, and throws for less than 100 yards. I think he was like 1-7 at one point, or
Yeah.
17 yards and 3 interceptions.
Penn, I'm not
Yeah.
sleeping on Jimmy G's 9-1 TD and
9-1.
ratio.
That's nasty.
I just know you're already that good. I saw that.
So then, biggest surprise would be the other end of it. So, Si, do you have somebody in mind for that?
Would be Jewel. Jewel's putting up a really good season.
That's-
She's 7-3. She's got some good wins.
That's probably
And that Bucks
fair.
offensive line is
about it.
garbage. I know that because I have them in another league.
They don't
and-
have a great offensive line, but they have weapons, though.
Yeah, but Jameis Winston is terrible. I
Is
can
he?
tell you that. Yeah, from personal experience, he's inaccurate as. Like, I would rather have like. I don't even know, but yeah, Jameis Winston's garbage in this Madden, but
Yeah,
she's
'cause
putting up work with.
I think that's a good one because looking at these top end teams, none of them are really a surprise because they have good rosters,
Yep.
good users, and yeah, I mean I think that's probably the weakest roster of the top 10. I mean, Jags are sitting at 10, Bucks at 9, Browns are at 8, Chargers
Yep.
7, Broncos, Patriots, Eagles, Texans, Cowboys, 49ers. So, yeah, Jewel, way to go. So let's go.
Jabbar too. Honorable mention.
Oh yeah, honorable mention for Jabbar because without a
That's
doubt,
true,
yeah,
yeah,
he did really well.
He's got an absolutely stacked roster, and Tom Brady no doubt helps his passing game. But I mean, to be what is he 8-2, 9-2?
I think he's
pretty good.
9-2, or maybe it's 8-3. That's what it is, I think. So
8-3, yep.
we'll jump to the yearly awards. I was looking at this earlier. Zeke with the MVP. Real quick consensus. Like, who do we think would actually deserve the MVP? Gosh.
Who, like, not based on stats, but based on like how
Well, perhaps stats
everything's been.
and just everything in like overall most valuable player. Like, I guess that's kind of a tough one because I was going to say penalties Garoppolo because of his 9-1 ratio, but that's more user based. I guess maybe we should look at like the player that's super valuable because of how they were rated and how they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a complicated one. That's a real tough one to.
I mean, we can look at this
Because you can
top
have
10.
a stud quarterback on a crap team with a crap user, and then,
Yeah, and exactly.
you know, and
So, if we're looking at the top 10, then for the MVP race, you got Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, Melvin Gordon. How is Melvin Gordon in this conversation? I don't even run. Andy Dalton, Patrick Mahomes, AJ Green, Joey Bosa, Deshaun Watson, and Zeke. So if it were
Well,
me,
it depends on who would break the record. Like if Bosa break the sack record, then yeah, probably him.
yeah, I
or
mean,
if
I would
Zeke
say
rushes
he
more
would
than
be
2,000.
valuable because
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything about him, and he's doing it on his own. That's pretty valuable. But if I were to think really about it, I would say DeAndre Hopkins is probably super valuable because of how effective he is. Like he's
Yep.
amazing, and AJ Green.
Yeah, And then Dalton putting up the numbers he's putting up.
I know, which is kind of crazy. So I think I would probably say DeAndre Hopkins, personally. Greg, what about you?
Yeah, that'd be a solid pick.
Just out of these 10, I'll go with Bosa because those sack numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, they are. Cy?
Yeah, probably Bosa. I mean, especially if he gets 30 sacks by the end of the season. That just
he's not even that good. He's 90 overall. I mean, that's good. That's excellent. But
yeah,
Melvin Ingram is a big boost to what Bosa's doing right now.
Probably,
I guarantee that.
For sure. And then Coach of the Year, no surprise, David Shaw, which would be penalty.
Oh yeah.
Cowboys in the second running there at 10-0 or 10-1, my bad. And then Texans.
I'm not even in vote. Jeez.
Yeah. It's all based on record though.
Yeah.
And look at that. Jules Warren Sapp is in there. So then we can go to the AFC Offensive Player of the Year. We're going to have to move these quickly because it's going to take a little bit.
Getting time.
AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, they're leading. Melvin Gordon for some godforsaken reason. Somebody want to go look at Melvin Gordon's stats for me because this is tripping me out.
Yeah, let me go look at him.
He shouldn't be there. Deshaun Watson, Le'Veon Bell, Philip Lindsay.
So Melvin Gordon has 877 yards, 8 touchdowns. Let me see if he has any receiving. He's got 241 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. So maybe that.
I guess
touchdowns are what's putting him in that race.
I didn't think he had that many touchdowns. Honest to God, what does Philip Lindsay have?
He's on the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsay's got 2 receiving touchdowns and 6 rushing touchdowns.
Wow. Okay. He must use multiple backs then because that's got to be the only real difference.
Yeah.
So then you go to Defensive Player of the Year. Joey Bosa's not going to be a surprise there. Von Miller, Clowney, Dunlap, which, when's the last time that you saw Carlos Dunlap leading anything in a Madden?
I don't know. I feel like
5 years ago?
Playing Madden since 1999 or something like that.
Yeah. I remember when he was really good and really fast.
Yeah.
So,
this is crazy.
And then Offensive Rookie of the Year, Drew Lock. That's why Johnny wanted us to look here so we could all ogle his rookie quarterback. 8-2. And
I
then
think Hopkins is going to break the single season touchdown record.
Yeah, because wasn't he? What was he at?
18.
He had
18. What, 5 weeks left?
18.
Jeez.
Yeah, he
5
might do
touchdowns.
that too. That's true. I forgot all about that.
Marquise Brown. That'd be a good award for him to win early if he could get it, but I doubt it. Then
I think Johnny wins this.
Yeah, I think the quarterback is going to be just at such a huge advantage because the touchdowns thrown.
Yep.
And then Dawson Knox, I don't know who that is. Bills guy?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it must be a tight end. It was offensive. So in the D-Roy for, let's see. Oh, yeah, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie. You got the Bengals.
Jermaine Pratt and Devin Bush.
Yeah, Devin Bush isn't a surprise. That guy's a freak. Yeah, my safety. I've had a couple of user picks with him. I've been using him.
I've got a guy in there too. I mean, he's not near the top, but he's there. I can't
Josh Allen.
Yeah. Greedy Williams, number 8.
Greedy Williams. So
fast, 93 speed.
Best QB, Andy Dalton, then Watson, then Mahomes, and then Rivers. At least I'm in top 4. That's good.
Nice.
I'll take it. Hey, look at that. That Raiders guy's got Derek Carr at 9. Wow. Quarterback playing in the AFC must be trash.
9 with 2-9 record. That's something.
I'm surprised my quarterback's not in there, honestly. I've got 16 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Yeah, where's Baker Mayfield? You're slumming it, dude.
I guess I'm not throwing enough yards.
Best RB, that's Melvin Gordon, then Philip Lindsay, Le'Veon Bell, Matt Breida, James White, Leonard Fournette, Lamar Miller. So, interesting. Got a couple guys in here. Best wide receiver, no surprise, AJ Green. Hopkins, you would think would be rated higher because of the touchdowns, but must be...
Right, yeah. The yards.
It must be yards, yeah. It must be the big thing for them. Juju, Tyreek Hill, he's in there. Keenan Allen's 6th. And then best O-line doesn't really matter.
Reason why the Patriots are so good? Look at that. They've got 3 guys in the best O-line talk.
I guess that is true, yeah. Yeah. You got somebody in there. Joel Bitonio.
Yeah, Joel Bitonio, yeah.
And actually they have 4. 1, 2... No, it is just
4?
3. My bad. No, my bad.
I was about to be like, oof.
Yeah, their entire offensive line. D-line, you got, of course, Bosa, and then Dunlap, and Ngokwe, and God damn it. Yannick Ngokwe, I think is his name. Myles Garrett.
Something
hey,
like that. Yeah.
number 4, that's all right.
Yeah, Myles.
Damn, you got Dunlap and Carl Lawson. That's and
2
Gino.
Bengals.
Damn.
Oh, and Gino.
You got 3. Yeah.
Yes.
I got 2 in the top 10.
The Bengals have always had a good defensive line. I remember back, 4 years ago that I took the Bengals, and it was Dunlap, and it was Atkins, and it wasn't that...
Michael Johnson.
Michael
Johnson.
Johnson.
Michael Johnson,
Yeah.
He was like an 85, and I was just going to town in the 4-3 sacking people.
Yeah. J.J. Watt lower than I would have thought, because I've seen him disrupt a bunch, but... Best LB, got Von Miller, Clowney.
Of course.
The Ravens guy, I don't want to try to butcher another name. T.J. Watt, Telvin Smith. So, not a huge surprise there. Best DB, Jason McCourty. Isn't that guy
And
like
Gilmore,
90 years old?
He's got both of those guys up there.
Wow, that's crazy.
1 and 2 for
Jesse Bates.
And he's got
Jonathan
Jones at 9 also.
Wow.
So
what's up with these teams?
he must be doing something right on defense.
Bengals has 2 of them as well. Dark West
Yeah.
Denard and the Jesse Bates guy.
All right. Ramsey's there. And then, so we can jump over the NFC, because I'm sure people are dying. Offensive Player of the Year, Zeke, of course. Then Mike Evans at 2. Jordan Howard quietly a 3rd.
You got David Johnson at 4. Students.
Yeah. Gurley, really low.
Really low. 5. Really low.
Really low. Defensive Player of the Year, of course, is penalties user. Devarius Moore.
Hey, Jameis Winston's at 10.
69 overall, getting that Defensive Player of the Year. That's wonderful.
You know he's going to be a superstar by the end of this season.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Wagner,
That guy's-
Anthony Barr.
Tavar is more ridiculous. He's got like 95 or 96 speed.
And he's 6'2".
gonna be-
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
6'2", yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be insane once Penn
Just for a
gets him up.
user, yeah.
Yeah.
Byron Jones at 4, who's ridiculous. Cameron Jordan. Buda Baker. Your Buda Baker's on there. Aaron
Byron
Donaldson.
Jones
Yeah.
is so good at Madden.
It's
That
so
in
stupid,
Ultimate
yeah.
Team, in Ultimate Team, they picked him because he's like a cheat code. It's absolutely ridiculous how good he is. So
Yeah, I just played
they beat him up big time for this game.
played a league game against him. He was running my receivers' routes, and it was crazy how good he was.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald at 7, and DeMarcus Lawrence at 9. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Dwayne Haskins Jr. That's Danny, right? Ipman, Redskins.
It is.
He's got that going for him. DK Metcalf,
Kyler
the
Murray.
freak. Terry
Nah, Murray's at
McLaurin.
7. He's not winning it.
Sias
I think my
Tyler
wide
and,
receivers.
Oh yeah, you got.
I've got my
Isabella,
wide receiver at 5th. Yeah, he's doing pretty good for me.
Kyler
Isabella.
Murray. And then D-Roy, we got Devin White, Nick Bosa. I don't know who this dude is. Sean Murphy
he's that
Bunting.
quarterback.
Murphy
Yeah,
Bunting.
for the Bucks.
Wow, Jules
good.
got some guys in here. Darnell Savage, Tristan Hill, Montez Sweat. He's supposed to be pretty good.
I hate his name. I hate his name.
You hate his name?
Yeah, I never. Ever since college, I
Is
haven't
it-
liked his name.
Is it Sweat or Sweet?
Yeah, it's Sweat.
It's Sweat.
Montez Sweat.
And then best QB, Drew Brees. How is that even possible? That, you know what that is? It's Force
The
games.
Sims.
It's the Sims. So he's got this outlandish, like,
Jewel should win this. She's
Yeah.
putting work with Jameis.
yeah, no doubt. And then you
She
got
still
Matt
might.
Ryan, Goff, Rodgers. Stafford, gosh, craziness. Where is penalties QB? He just doesn't throw enough, or what?
I think so.
Probably
Yeah,
the
like
same
I
as
think
me.
his numbers are probably low.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's good defense, so he's just like getting picks and then just not getting the yards and scoring touchdowns.
Yep.
Probably the same reason for you, Greg.
Yep, that's about the same reason.
Best RB, of course, will be Zeke, David Johnson, Kamara. Well, of course, because Penn's not playing. Barkley is rotting away on Joe's roster. Wide receiver, Mike Evans, of course. Julio Jones, there's my boy.
There's Goodwin.
Goodwin, yeah. He's up there because he threw that deep post against you. I saw him run it for like 80 yards.
That was an insane deep post. I was like, I'm not catching up to him.
Oh my gosh.
Goodwin's fast.
We got to get Nick back in here because, I mean, he's got such a good team, and I'd hate to see that team go to waste.
I'll take over it if he's gone.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Just to go away from Penn and them. I wouldn't mind it.
Best O-line,
That
3
offensive
Cowboys,
line, yeah.
3 Eagles,
Go
4
Eagles.
Eagles. Yeah. True to life.
Look at how good the Cowboys' offensive line.
Yeah.
96, 95,
The
94.
Cowboys and the Eagles, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They both, like, just,
Automatic.
That's not even fair.
Yeah,
It's not
pretty
fair.
much.
It's not fair.
Best D-line, you got Cameron Jordan because of Sims, Aaron Donald, Marcus Lawrence, Fletcher Cox, McKinley, interesting, Nick Bosa, Daniil Hunter, Nikem Dichi, and K'Wan Short. So a lot of the same teams for sure. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the Cowboys, a lot of Eagles, and of course Niners. Best LB, Anthony Barr, Bobby Wagner, Shaq Barrett.
Bobby Wagner's the best linebacker in the game.
Yeah. Chandler Jones, really? They moved him to
Oh, yeah,
linebacker?
he gets sacks.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't changed, like, I just haven't been at the end, like, I haven't gone in and changed their
Oh, I
positions or
gotcha.
anything. Because I don't want to do that, so.
Best DB,
yeah.
of course, Tavarius Moore, then Byron Jones right behind. Alfred, that's good. And Buda Baker. Top 4,
And
2 of them.
Baker.
Go Cy. Woo.
Yeah. Hey, the Lions guy
Yeah,
got Darius Slay in there.
Yeah, that's good for him.
Yeah.
Did
So-
Jonathan Cyprian at 10? Damn.
I think that basically wraps the show up right there. We went through a ton of stats, projections, and some booty awards. So we're going to have to get a top 10 going. Try to
Hell
get
yeah, like I think these last 5 weeks are gonna be fun. They're gonna like piss off a lot of people or make a lot of people happy, depending on
We should
because there's
we
a
should-
lot of close playoff races.
We should have a stream, probably wild card. We should stream
Yeah.
it, you know,
Yeah.
right when the playoffs start.
I think
Kinda
for
get the
sure
rundown of the
what
season.
we need to try to do is try to get some commentating going on the playoff games for sure. And
Yeah,
get those-
definitely some of those like key matchup ones too.
For
like,
sure.
we can,
I mean,
like,
those would-
circle them.
those will be great.
Yeah, if
So-
if we can have those streamed and then. Oh, I just want to say one thing. It's 2019, guys. You don't need that much to stream. Streaming got so much better.
Yeah,
so
no
please
kidding.
stream your games.
I know. I've
Like-
I'm in a few different. Or I'm only in one other league, and
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of other leagues basically say you just have to stream unless you just
Yeah.
can't do it, like the away team streams or something.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have to try to make a rule out of it. I'd rather just have people do it.
Mhm.
So, and then that gives
Fun
people
to do, yeah.
yeah, it gives people opportunity to commentate them, and I think that
Yeah.
adds a lot, and that was a lot of fun. So I'd like to see us do more
And, like, I
streaming
think
and more
it's-
commentating.
Yeah.
Haven't been many
And
games
like I think
played.
like that helps people get better too, like just be more involved in the league.
Right. Absolutely. That's why I want to do it. So
Tell
Thanks.
everybody to get their games in.
get your games in. Come
Hey,
on.
get your games in. Come on,
Make
let's
There
do
aren't
this.
many people. We've only got 4 games played this week. What's going on?
I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting on the bye week right now, so I need people to
Me
get their
too.
games in. So
Yeah, make
I've got a
contact that
force,
first day.
but
Let's go.
Dario is just Dardar's
Yes.
just tanking, so I've got a force win.
He's not even gonna play you.
Nope, he doesn't even want to play. I'm actually
Wow.
going to set that right now.
Oh, he's
at
gonna,
Browns, force home.
he's actually not gonna be home this weekend, so
Oh, gotcha.
he's coming to visit San Francisco for a concert, I think. So makes
Gotcha.
sense.
All right, well, thanks for joining me, guys. I know we ran a little long, so we'll shut this thing down. So get those games in, fellas. And
Sounds good.
that's it for us.
See you, everybody.